welcome to SeaWorld.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Hi everybody, it's our
there's a
veterinary
bird.
hospital. So you guys will get a first-hand view of our vets working today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, welcome to SeaWorld and welcome to North Support. This is North Support here, and it's on the north side of the park. That's why it's called North Support. It is mainly our rescue and rehabilitation area, along with some support pools and systems and areas to support things that are going on out in front of the park. We're going to visit our rescue vehicle and boat area first, water quality, and then some of our animal areas as well. They just changed over the numbers on our sign here at the first of the year. Last year, of course, we broke more records of our rescued animal numbers. We don't like to break those records because that means that those animals are out there needing to be rescued. But last year it was 72 manatees and 60-some turtles and over 400 birds. And so already this year we've already gotten our first manatee and already 9, actually I think a bird came in this morning, so it's more like 10 or 11 birds now as of today. So it's we're always on call and we never say no. It's been an okay winter so far, but when the water temperature gets a little lower, if it's several days of too low temperature, the smaller manatees and the smaller turtles are going to be the ones that are going to get hit first. The cold-blooded turtles get stunned, and the smaller the manatee, the higher temperature they need to have. So once the temperature hits 70 and then it starts to go lower, that's when those smaller manatees and then the bigger manatees are going to get hit by that cold water. Even though manatees are big, they don't have any blubber, and so they need to stay in the warm water in order to survive. So we've gotten a lot of cold stunned turtles. We've also received some turtles from New England, some Kemp's Ridley turtles that you'll see along the way today towards the middle of the tour. Those Kemp's Ridley turtles are only this big, and they come to us from New England when they travel from Florida to New England trying to follow warm water, but then it gets cold up there in Cape Cod, and then the turtles are like, oh, I can't move, it's cold, and then they don't move, and then they just don't move, and they don't swim, and they wash up on shore. So those turtles will get rescued by organizations up in New England, and then they get really full, and they'll say, hey Florida, we have your turtles up here, can we bring some to you? And they'll bring 100 or 200 down on an airplane and show up at the Orlando airport, and then all the organizations will go to the airport and pick up as many as they can. So we brought back like 20 the last time that we just did that a few weeks ago. A few years ago it was really cold for about a month up there, really, really cold. And so they brought 300 turtles in one day, and we took 72 and brought 72 turtles back here to SeaWorld in one day. So we had pools on top of pools and turtles on top of turtles, trying to rehab them until the state of Florida would say, all right, it's warm enough, release them down in South Florida, and then we would just release them in groups. So this is Dante, he's going to take over for me.
Perfect, and I'll take you guys right over, you can follow me. I'm sure she gave you the whole overview of the rescue area so far. First area that we're going to be heading to is our Marine Mammal Transport Unit. This is basically how we take large animals in need of rescue.
Hi guys, how's it going? My name is Candy. I'm part of the rescue team here at SeaWorld. I'll show you guys what's up with this guy here. This is a 22-foot cradle to transport box. It's a unit that we use to transport large animals, and we're talking like 2,000 to 3,000 pound pilot whales up to probably 5,000 pound killer whale, depending on the length of the animal. So we can transport as large as a 20-foot animal in this 22-foot box. So what you guys are seeing is a straight cut through of what it looks like. It would not look like this if we were to actually move the animal. It would be solid on both sides, and you'd actually have fabric here hanging from the stretcher. What we'll do is we'll actually get the stretcher, we'll put the animal in the stretcher, and this box will already be mounted and ready to go on a flatbed truck. So we lift the animal with a crane, in the stretcher. We lift it, bring it into the box here, and then we'll actually hook it up with all 4 hooks that you see on the inside. These hooks, these chains can be adjusted via the levers, so the animals can sit level. Some animals like to transport with their head a little bit up further than their tail, or maybe a little bit head down. It depends on their comfort level. The water will be filled up into the box depending on the animal that we're moving and how large. It could be anywhere between a couple, 3 feet of water to 18 to 20 inches is pretty much how we do with dolphins. So the whole unit will actually be on the truck with the animal in it. We'll drive it to wherever we need to go, whether it's the airport or to another facility, and then we offload in the reverse process. So we crane and the entire animal into the pool, and then the stretcher releases the animal to go. We have put this particular transport box unit on airplanes, and they get locked into the floor of the plane itself, and then we fly out to wherever we need to go. We can travel cross country, no problem. We can travel internationally. Prepare something like this can take anywhere from a week, depending on where our box goes, or it can be anywhere from a few hours, depending on the situation. We passed a couple of our boats there. The Turner is off to the right-hand side. That's our cetacean rescue boat. It's open on the back. There's a net. We deploy the net off the back, and then we can actually corral the animal that we need. That's mostly used for dolphins. Our offshore boat's on the left-hand side with the seafoam bottom there, and that's used as a support boat. We can bring more people on if we need. We could also use it to get extra eyes on the animal. The Charlotte here is our manatee rescue boat, and it's the same kind of design where you have the open back. We'll actually put the transom on and travel with it this way, but it's open for you guys to see kind of what goes on inside. The net here will be deployed. This buoy will get thrown out, and then the net follows. Hopefully the animal that we desire is inside that net. There are many times where the net goes out, and then it will pop just outside the net. So you got to bring the whole net back on, and then try it. We wish we could respond to everybody that calls that says we have a dolphin or a manatee or a sea turtle or a bird, but we have to have it verified. Especially with cetaceans and manatees, we have to have it verified by NOAA with cetaceans and by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission for manatees. That helps us to be able to survey the situation, what we need, what the equipment we need, the expertise that we may need. Our last manatee that we rescued back in December, she was number 72 and she was a calf out at Blue Springs. She was on the other side of the springs, so they actually had to put her in a canoe and bring her over to the bank so we could put her in the truck and bring her here.
How long does the approval process usually take?
It could take a month. It could take an hour. And it could be, hey, we're leaving to go get a dolphin in 30 minutes, be ready to go. Everything is packed, ready to go. We hook up the trucks and we're out of here. And it just depends. NOAA sometimes will watch a dolphin if it's an entanglement. Maybe that animal, if they can't get eyes on it or they don't see it, that could be one of our most difficult rescues. It could be, hey, we saw it 3 days ago, we haven't seen it since. And it could have moved on, it could have passed away. Maybe it detangled itself, which has happened before. And it could take a little while for that. Manatees are normally pretty quick. If there's an animal that is a boat injury and it's floating where it shouldn't be, that could be a pretty quick approval process. If you're looking at an animal that looks a little bit thin, we're going to keep an eye on them, it could be a week. I could drop everything right now and be on my way. We've already been on 2 bird rescues this morning, just before noon.
Oh.
Yeah, good times. Fun day, dude. Fun day. Anybody have any questions?
When you put an animal in this or something, what kind of behavior are they? Freaking out? Are they just stoic?
It depends on the animal. It depends on the animal. With our particular killer whales, we travel better than most people. They're like, oh, we found that. We're good. They get in there and they're like, all right, cool. Some of them eat in the box. I was actually lucky enough to bring one of the belugas from another facility. I flew with him. He flew better than I did. He fell asleep. He literally fell. He was in the stretcher, and he turned to his side, and he was asleep. I said, awesome. And I was over his box watching him the whole time, because you have to have people travel with him. So we had one of his keepers and myself, and we had a vet to travel with us, and you want to make sure that everything is good. But yeah, it depends. Some animals that have never traveled before, they get nervous. Sure. If I've never traveled before, I get nervous as well. So, but most of the time, if the animal is injured, they're going to naturally fight. But if they're too sick to fight, that's something we notice. So and we watch their respirations.
How can you tell what their comfort level is?
Yeah, it's weird, right? I'm not gonna be like, hey, how do you like to travel? You know, you didn't tell me. I don't know. We'll start them off level, and then if they look like you know they're bringing their head way up, maybe to look around. We have some animals that like to watch. Okay, I'll bring your head up a little bit. So we'll bring them up a few links, and we'll see how that does. If they don't like it, if they show us that they're uncomfortable or maybe they're getting a little more nervous, we'll bring them down. We'll try, you know, we have all kinds of techniques we can use. We can base it on how other animals travel. How I travel is different than how you travel. All right, you guys are on to water quality. You're gonna learn how we make our salt water and all that good stuff. So anytime, it was a pleasure to meet all of you. Have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys.
I'm part of the zoological operations in the water quality department. We're actually here 24/7, 365 days a week. What you're looking at behind me is our main plant filtration system. This system runs the back pools behind us. It also runs Dolphin Cove, Dolphin Theater, Dolphin Nursery Pool, and the Pelican Point that's outside the park by Stingray. We have 22 high-rate sand filters that run this plant. There's 3 million gallons. And we turn over the pools about every 3 hours. So every 3 hours, everything gets filtered through our filters. We use an oxidizing system with ozone and a small amount of chlorine. We do exceed or meet the USDA standards for marine mammals. And what that means is basically ozone is a disinfectant in the water. We inject it into the water. It cascades into another basin, and as it cascades over the wall, it off-gasses the ozone, and then we have an ozone destruct unit that destroys the ozone before it goes back out into the air. And then the ozone is dissipated from the water, and then we put it through a basin, and then we've got 22 pumps behind me, and each filter has its own pump, and each filter runs about 650 gallons a minute through the filter, and then it gets dispersed to the pools behind me. The big blue pipe right there goes to Key West. We actually have another pipe on the other side that goes to the whale and dolphin side. This machine right next to us that's making all the noise is actually a reverse osmosis machine. We use that opposite of what people at home use reverse osmosis machines for. Usually in your home, you use it to create clean drinking water. We use it opposite. Every time it rains, it creates more salt water for us. Every drop in the pool creates more water value. So when it rains, we have to get rid of that salt water somehow. So we use a reverse osmosis machine. We keep the fresh water in holding tanks that can be used throughout the park, and we dump the chemicals, the concentrate of the salt and different chemicals that are in the water, and we put it back into our system. So therefore, we don't have any salt water going down the drain. Our systems are called closed systems, which means they're man-made salt water, and we don't dump any salt water, we just recycle it over and over again. Each of these filters get backwashed, which is reversing the flow every 24 hours. Each shift does a set of filters, and this right here is called a recovery filter, so it takes the dirty water and filters it and puts it back in front of the filters, and it gets filtered again. So the dirty water actually gets filtered twice, along with going to the ozonators.
This is our veterinary hospital. So you guys will get a first-hand view of our vets working today. If you look through these windows here, you're going to see a heron on the table. This is a rescued bird that was brought in. So a lot of times when birds are brought in, we don't really have background information about what's wrong with them. So what we do is bring them in, we'll look at their blood work, we'll look at x-rays, sometimes we'll look at fecals to see what's going on the inside. And then that's our veterinarian's job, is to come up with a treatment plan for the animal. And then our vet techs, which are myself and Stacy in there, and we also have 2 more. What we do is we are kind of like a nurse for the animals, so we'll provide treatments for them, take x-rays. We even do like dental cleanings for our otters. So a variety of tasks. We have 4 vet techs and we have 4 vets. So there's only 8 of us taking care of about 30,000 patients. Most of the time we have appointments that start from 8 a.m. and they go all the way until 12. And then sometimes we'll have stuff after lunch, which is what you're seeing right now. This is a rescue case that came in that we need to look at today. I'm not sure what's going on with this guy. That's kind of why he's in here, so we can look at the things that would give us clues. This is a heron. I haven't gotten a good look. I think it's a little blue, because the great blue herons are a lot larger.
It's not just birds.
No, we do everything.
There's the manatees.
They can come in
Well,
here.
yeah,
They can. Yeah, we have a really big table in the back that we can wheel out, and it'll hold an adult manatee.
Swimming with it.
Do you look at wolves?
We do, yeah. We go to them. Yeah, we go to them. So we take all of our stuff and we pack it up and put it in one of our trucks and we drive over to see killer whales.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah, thank
If you all would like to step down to those windows over there.
Hi, my name's Siobhan. I'm one of the med techs that work here, medical technologists. I'm licensed by the state of Florida to do clinical laboratory science. Actually, I have worked in a hospital for 6 years, and I decided to move over here because you know what? These guys don't complain as much. Or at least we don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, there's 7 of us here. We're open 7 days a week. Usually it's staffed about 10 hours a day. If we have to come in, they can call us. We're on call to come in if need be to do a stat blood work. So we're like a full hospital lab. We have the same machines. We do chemistries, just like if you're sick, or just your routine physicals, because we also do routine physicals here. We do the blood work, which chemistries like glucose, cholesterol, sodium, potassium, protein, all the ones you're used to hearing about. And then we also do hematology, so we do white count, hemoglobins, and we also do the differential. That's where we actually look and count with different types of white cells. That's just really getting into it. So that we're looking for possible infection or an anemia. And then my section is micro, which is the best, microbiology. I look for any of the cultures, organisms that are not usual flora, is what we call that. I'll work them up and do sensitivities. And I have my machine back there that'll do that. And then we give all this information to the doctors, which leads into that we have a full pharmacy here. We have the same medications you can get at CVS or Walgreens. Same exact medications. So we can get antibiotics or pain meds or just fluids if they need fluids. And then the only difference between us and any other medical lab is that we do water chemistry. The reason we do that is because our water, seawater, is not the real thing. We have to make it. So we just test it to make sure it's as close as it can be. And if we need to add things to it, we do. So we do twice a day in our department, chlorine, pH, salinity, also ammonia, and we do some special water chemistries during the week for nitrates, magnesium, all that kind of fun stuff. We just double check water quality, so there's like a double check on this. You know, a lot of people don't even know we exist here. And we take really good care of our residents, and our non-residents are rescues that come in.
Does your section also work on the killer whales and pilot whales, or they have their own set of?
Oh no, we do the whole park. Okay. We do all the animals. Everything from the mammals, the birds, the reptiles, snakes.
Oh, so when they take the blood samples, you know, from the whales, they come over here?
Yeah, everything comes here. And we also get a lot of samples from bush gardens too.
Oh.
We have just expanded into covering them too. And now when I say, people ask, where do you work at SeaWorld? I said, where? In the lab? And they go, where? You have a lab? Yes, we do.
Well, thank you so much.
You're
for
so
the
welcome.
information.
Enjoy your day. It's gorgeous. Thank you.
Now, one thing that I do like to point out, especially when we were by the surgery room, the medical room, is that all the equipment is on wheels. I didn't want to interrupt while she was talking, but that's so that we can take everything poolside to be able to take care of the animals. Like she was saying, especially for something like a large killer whale or a large manatee, we can't just bring them into that small room there. So it's really convenient that we have everything mobile. And I love hearing all the information that some of our care and rescue team is able to give too, because everything's really a new surprise. We get so many new animals daily. All of these Kemp Ridleys that you see in the pool right here, those are more of a recent development. We took them in for a red tide. Again, with red tide. I'm not sure if any of you heard before, but I was talking about taking care of the animals here. It'll take maybe about a week to cure them from any infections or injuries they would have because of that. But putting them back in the wild is a big issue that we're having right now because red tide is everywhere in Florida. We need a little bit of colder weather, let's hope. And once that colder weather comes, it'll break up the tide some more so that it doesn't bloom as much, and then we'll try to put the animals back into the wild. And like they said, the process to do that could take about 30 days because they have to go through quarantine, so upwards of a little bit of a month. You guys just stick to the left right here. But even though we have a rescue team, all of you are contributing to our rescue effort, even if you don't realize it, because a portion of your mission goes to our conservation effort. So that helps us take care of these animals, that helps us be able to go out on the scene and be available 24/7. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out with us today. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, of course.
Thank you.
No problem.